Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, YouTube Live proudly brings to you its Sports Talk Podcast is the world, the swaggy one, Swaggy E, the rowdy one, Rowdy B, Air E and B. What's good, Earl? What's happening?
What is going on, my man? Happy New Year. I know it's the first show we've done in a long time, man. So I'm excited to get back on the mic, dude. It's been too long. It's been too long.
Keep talking. I forgot something.
Well, of course. Yeah, you know, it's been an interesting year, right? We look at the last week of playoffs and starting leading up into the All-Star break for NBA, and it's just really starting to come together. And I love this time of year. You know, it's a sad time of year because again, football's starting to come to an end, and I always get sad. But I'm really excited about this next weekend of football, man. I mean, when you look at the games, when you're talking about, I think it's the teams that we ultimately want to see, right? You want to see Brady back in Super Bowl, or at least in the contention to play for that. You want to see Breeze as well, too, maybe try to get a last ring for his legacy. And then you also look at a game like an upstart team like the Rams, who, when you look at them on paper, has pretty much been one of the number one or number two or three top teams in the league. It's exciting to kind of see where they are now and have the opportunity to kind of represent their division to try to make it to the Super Bowl. But again, man, it's an exciting time. It's a sad time in New York because there really hasn't been there aren't any winning teams in New York. And I can say that I think for the hockey teams as well, too. It's a sad time in New York. I think that, you know, there's not a lot to look forward to. You know, pretty much every sport that we're supporting, we're all looking forward to the future. We're all looking forward to the draft. And, you know, it's sad that our Knicks are unwatchable at this point.
Hold on. We're not going into the Knicks.
We don't need to go into that.
We're not going into them anytime soon.
I want the direction, you know, we're going to talk about that later, hopefully. But there's a couple of guys I'd like to see in blue and orange.
Hold on. We'll talk about that later. We spent so much time preparing and everything that I forgot that I didn't have to fit it on. I started the show. I gave the intro and everything, and I completely forgot. I bet you wasn't expecting that intro, were you?
That was a great intro. I mean, we need to tape that. That's the new intro for 2019.
Yeah, but you know, I did it wrong because I didn't have to fit it. No, it came through very good, but I got to check it because I think that the YouTube started it like 3 seconds after it said you're live. Yeah, so I got it like in the middle of the, you know, Sports Talk Podcast is the world.
Love it, love it. It's good nonetheless.
But let me talk about what you just said, though. Yes, Kansas City. I cannot wait to see. Now, listen, we did mention one time that I did say, hey, who would have known that Peyton Manning was going to be that bad of a postseason quarterback? And now I said, well, you know, how do you know Holmes is better than Eli, which got this whole bone of contention, blah, blah, blah. And Mahomes is not better. But anyway, he's got to prove it. He's got to get at least one, and then we start talking. But anyway, not to get into that, but point of the matter is, Patrick Mahomes has now shown that the bright lights haven't affected him. Yeah. It has with Phillip Rivers. It has with you know, that bum over in Detroit I can't stand. I don't want to call him a bum, but playoff bum. And you know who else couldn't handle the lights?
Who's that? Tony
Romo.
Oh, you know, as a Giants fan, I love those days. I long for those days to come back, dude. When we Tony Romo was just, I'd love to see him just on the ground, sack. You know, I hate to see it. I hate to say it, but I love to see him almost get hurt. You know, not you know, critically injured, but just a little nicked up.
Oh, we know what you mean. Speaking of the Giants, though, what do you think about this new fit that I picked up during the holiday?
Love it, man. I love it.
The throwback logo.
I was going to say a little vintage throwback Giants logo.
Yes, sir.
Looking spiffy.
Yes, sir. And and I got the double sale on it, man.
Okay.
Double sale. So Lids was having a holiday sale plus.
Lids is expensive. Wow.
You think so? Wait. So where do you get your fitteds from?
I don't buy fitteds anymore, man. I haven't bought a fitted. These are all fitteds I've had. I mean, I've had this Reds fitted with the patch. I've had this since like '08, man.
Look at you with the Kendrick Lamar, Antonio Brown hair.
That's right.
Yeah, mine left me a long time ago. No, but yeah, it had the lids had the sale for the 15% off plus the free shipping on whatever, and then so I got and this just happened to be, I don't know why, maybe because people didn't want the old logo, but it was like on the clearance. So dude, it went from like 38 and I got it shipped to the crib for 20.
Love it. That's a good price.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
And I also got another one that I'm gonna wear too. So yeah, we debuting them, man. I don't know about you, but I'm still copping fitties. But getting back on your on what we were saying though. So the first game, let's talk about the first game. Okay. Saints Rams. How dynamic is this? Because we are now talking about such a dynamic coach, a guy that's, in his early 30s that already basically has a coaching tree as one of his. Is that crazy?
It is.
And Sean McVay he's a phenomenon, and he's going to change the culture of, you have to be 45, you have to be 50. It already started with Jason Garrett over in Dallas, and now it's taken another turn. And he's just doing it. I mean, can you imagine if he wins? If he wins this year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's I think we're really getting ahead of ourselves when we talk about a coaching tree, just considering that the man has only had 2 years at this point. So the coaching tree that you're referring to, I believe, is, and they don't necessarily have a direct correlation, but like Cliff Kingsbury, the coach that they hired from Texas Tech, I think he was fired. I think he was supposed to take the O coordinator job at USC, ended up going to take the head coaching job in Arizona. A lot of people felt a little bewildered by that pick because this is a guy that, sure, he's had some great quarterbacks and Johnny Manziel and Patrick Mahomes, but he's also had some other quarterbacks that haven't panned out as well. So you look at it as just, I think, unfortunately, football's a sport where they follow the trends. You look at it and it's like there's a trend to say we want a young offensive, a guy that's great on the offensive side, and we want him to have the ability to nurture the quarterback, speak with the quarterback in a manner that they can understand and just work with them. And so that's hot right now. And so the guy that got hired in Arizona is kind of a Sean McVay-like coach in the sense that he's young, he's a good-looking coach. There's appeal to that. And so what they're hopefully trying to tie into is a very Sean McVay-like effect by getting this young, innovative coach. But
he was fired in college.
I know, and that's why it's really curious to see like how he kind of just jumped on the top of a lot of people's coaching lists. I think the Jets had him number one in their coaching options, and then him going with Adam Gase. So I don't know, maybe there's something that I don't know, because again, I'm a little more than a moderate fan. I've watched a lot of it, but
you're very knowledgeable.
Right. I mean, we're not going to talk X and O's. Like, I'm not going to sit here and draw, a skinny post Y banana, But the point of the matter
is, Spider 2Y banana.
Spider 2Y banana, excuse me.
Well,
John Gruden.
He better start pulling some stuff like that out in Oakland, because I don't know what's going on over there.
He's looking for draft capital, man. I think he realized that there's not a lot of his guys on that team. Point blank. And I think Amari is a guy that you should always want on your team. And obviously Khalil Mack is as well, too.
Oh, I was in favor. And we did say that Amari for the first round pick was a great move for Oakland. I thought after the stupid trade of Khalil Mack, I thought that the Amari Cooper, but I was wrong, because Cooper showed what he never showed. He would have 1 week. He was the ultimate fantasy player that would bring your hearts down. He'd win you a week, and then you start him the next week and bench somebody else, and then he'll come up with 5.5 points, and and that's it, you know. But Amari never lived up to his potential. But on Dallas, I mean, unbelievable.
Just a total different receiver. It looks like, right?
Yeah. So this is a dynamic. Usually, he looks like what happens when people go to the Patriots, like Josh Gordon and what have you. You know.
Yeah.
So all right. So let's get the you know, it's a dynamic matchup. It really is, because like I said, you have, you know, nobody has a really good defense here. Definitely not the Saints. The Rams, they are able to, you know, change and adjust, and because they have a really good coach. Of course, Belichick is the other one that comes to mind as well. That does great adjustments at halftime and what have you. But this is in the dome, though.
It's different
for a young first of all, yes, a young coach and a young quarterback, an unproven quarterback in Goff, and a proven dome quarterback having a great comeback year in Drew Brees. Listen, you know, before I pitch it to you, I'm sorry. I have to go Saints here, because if the Rams had a better defense, then I can give them a shot. But they don't. And their corners are really exposed. And listen, is Talib playing?
I think Talib is going to be playing this game, yes.
If Talib is playing, listen, it's still, you know, listen, I'm going Saints now. I don't know the spread.
I got it right. I got it right here.
Oh, my man.
I got no. Looks like they got the Saints at -3.5.
I'm taking it.
I would take that as well too. And I know,
I think they're gonna win by a touchdown, maybe 10 points. What do you got?
Wow. Okay.
Listen, they're in the dome.
I agree. They're a totally different team on the road or at home versus the road, right? It's amazing what a little bit of home cooking can do, man. I look at this, and basically this is what I'm asking for as a fan. I look at Drew Brees. I look at a guy that's worked his way back up to have the ability to even be back on this stage with the team that they built around him, and just everything that he's done for that city, and just what he means to the New Orleans Saints organization. I just would really love to see him kind of just finish his career off with one last one and go off just like Michael Strahan did when he won that chip. And he said, that's it. I'm not suited up anymore. You go out a champion. A lot of people had to come back and try to defend it. No, go out on top. Just ride the wave, man. And I think Drew Brees, if he wins this Super Bowl or wins this NFC, he's got to win the NFC Championship game, obviously, first.
I know.
If he does that, I'd love to see him win this last one and say, that's it, and hang him up, man.
Dude, what if it's Saints? Chiefs.
Yeah, and I think that's the game that a lot of people want to see. Don't we want to see that team? Because, again, we're talking about a dome stadium that they'll both be going to, and we're talking about passionate fan bases. I think it's going to be a loud game. Because Super Bowls are never really 50-50, the home and away team. It's a lot of mixed fans in there. It's a lot of media. It's never really like supporters of each team, but people who just happen to have enough money to be in the building. But I think that atmosphere is going to be amazing down in Atlanta this year. And I'm looking at this. We haven't even gone to cover the Pats and Chiefs game, but I think Saints and Chiefs are exactly what I want to see in the Super Bowl.
We're about to cover it right now. Go ahead. Right. What's your opinion on Chiefs Pats?
All right, so basically they got Kansas City at -3.5. And so, again, I'm looking at this, man, and Mahomes has just been so dominant this year, but it's really, really stupid and hard to kind of bet against the New England Patriots. I mean, Tom Brady plays at his best when the lights are brightest. And you look at him again, I didn't expect him to have that game that he was going to have last week. And I think it's amazing and a testament to just excellent game planning by Bill Belichick and his coaching staff. And you look at it from a perspective of where he is in his career, and he's not slinging it down the field like he used to, but he's just being smart with the passes and the checkdowns, and they have dynamic playmakers in Julian Edelman. and a guy like, James White, who they're able to hand the ball off to, but then also to go ahead and catch 14 catches a game. So, again, with that said, it's really just not wise to bet against the New England Patriots. And my New Yorker and me and my now West Coast residing persona, I feel like
woo!
It's hard.
Are you going who's winning or the points? Give me.
I'm going. So the points again. It's Kansas City had -3.5, or excuse me, -3. It's just really hard to bet against New England. I'm gonna go. New England wins this game and also covers the spread
of 3.5. Okay.
Yeah. It's actually -3.
So about the running game, you don't think that the Pats can control time of possession, huh?
I do. I think that's exactly what the Pats are going to do. They're going to control the ball.
So,
they're going to control the ball, keep the ball in Mahomes' hand, and they're going to play a messy, sloppy game. That's exactly what they're going to play. Lot of defense.
You still think KC is going to win?
No, I think the Pats are going to win.
Oh, my bad, dude.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Let's be clear. I think the Pats are going to win just because we can't bet against Tom Brady in New England, and continuously I've bet against them. I said no, it's not their year. This end, listen, just for them to even be in that game last year in Super Bowl, man, just is amazing. He really is. I think you want to say he's the best ever quarterback. Sure, go ahead and say that. The regular season stats don't always reflect that, but when it comes time to ball, I want Super Bowl Brady. I want playoff Brady. And every team in this league can say the same thing, with the exception. And this is a tough thing. I don't think the Green Bay Packers would trade Aaron Rodgers for Tom Brady, because I don't know if it's the same quarterback without the coach. The two pieces are together.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, right now they would. Brady's getting up there,
right?
But man, this is the one that I've gone back and forth on, man, and. You're talking Hill, Kelsey, Mahomes.
Yeah.
Dude. I don't know, man. We disagree on this one, man. I think the buck stops here.
Wow.
I think the buck stops here. Yes, they're going to try to control the running. The problem is, the Pats' defense is so bad. Now, I'm not saying Kansas City's defense is good.
They've gotten a little better over the course of time, a little bit, but yes, they're pretty bad.
And KC is favored the 3.5, right?
Yep, 3.
Okay. I'm definitely going them with the points. I mean, they're not going to win by safety, so. Yeah, I think this is it, man. I mean, you know why I also think this is it?
Why is that?
Kelsey versus Gronk, right? Have you seen how slow and old Gronk looks?
Dude, I would just mention this to some folks the other day. I got to tell you, man, Gronk, it's time for Gronk to hang it up just for the mere fact I want that brother to be able to walk around when he's 45, He's taken a lot of big hits, dude. I mean, how many times we watch the game and be like, dude, if that was anybody else but Gronk, dude would have been knocked out. And so he just takes way too many shots. He's a big man, and he likes to deliver the blows, and he can take them. But that becomes an issue. You're talking about 10, 12 years of that, and having hundreds of what the equivalent of a car wreck would be in a football game, and having 100 of those in one day on the football field.
Yeah,
those blows add up, man.
Listen, if the running back, that they have now was not as serviceable as he is, then I would say, hey, the loss of Kareem Hunt's too much. You hang it up. Young quarterback. Andy Reid isn't going anywhere, but this isn't the time where Belichick is going to be able to muscle another coach. This isn't where a coach is going to make stupid decisions like Pete Carroll and and with Atlanta in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. This isn't the type. Andy Reid is legit, borderline Hall of Fame coach, and he is going to be aggressive and he's going after it. His legacy lies on this. He never won one. This is it. He's been close. This is it. You know, he should have, you know, with Philadelphia, that was, you know, that's the closest he's gotten. Okay. This is it. And this is his revenge. You know, this is his revenge against the Pats. I'm telling you, man. Now, well, that's a question for winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But I think this is it, man. But you know what, though? I think that the Pats are going to rebuild during the offseason. They're going to come back. They're going to have a defense. And you know what else is a big loss for the Pats that people aren't really talking about?
Josh Gordon?
Yeah. Listen, that's why you're the man.
That's why we do the show together, man. That's why we do this.
Who is creating that deep separation that they had before? They knew it was a problem early in the year. That's why they went and got the weed smoker. Now, you know, and he showed, and how amazing did they look with him? They knew they needed it. And what did they replace? You know, other teams made replacements. You know, you have Sammy Watkins. You have why am I another one? The one from Kelvin Benjamin. You know, other teams, you know, picked up those players late. You know, they didn't do anything. So all right, so you have Pats, I have Kansas City.
Yep.
And we both have the Saints, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes,
all right.
Sir.
Okay. Now we're just gonna shift from sports real quick to talk about I didn't think we were gonna talk about it, but listen, quick couple of minutes. We have to talk about what the nation is talking about. And while you were away, well, first you were away is, listen, you don't have the name of Swaggy E for no reason. you were out with the fiance, and we tried to do a show on the road, but you know, you're supposed to be Mr. Technology here, and you didn't upgrade your software. And then we tried to do one last night. And then we figured out the upgrade software, and it took forever. And actually, someone told me earlier that they saw the new live, you know, thing on the Airbnb, and that was up there. They thought there was a show, but it just kept saying waiting.
Gotcha.
So, you know, I had to delete that today. But tell where you were, and what I am referring to, because you've now caught up on what I was referring to. All right, where were you?
So I was I was recently down this past weekend down in Los Angeles. Took a little quick trip down there, and Orange County, and you know, you kept telling me, it's like, man, you got to watch this, you got to watch it. It's crazy. I was like, I know. It's all my list of shows to watch right now. So I managed to get through, we're about 3/4 of the way through episode 3, season 1 of Surviving R.Kelly. And I got to tell you, man,
I don't think there's going to be another season.
Right. Yeah.
If it is, it might be from the jail cell.
I mean, at this point, he's working up a legal team right now. You know, it sounds like he's talking daily with a legal team to do a massive lawsuit. So we'll see where this goes. The point matters that we don't need multiple examples to believe somebody's story, but at this point, it's just hard. You really can't run anywhere. The stories, I get the presumption of innocence until guilty, but in terms of the court of public opinion, the man's guilty right now, and there's just too much damning evidence to say otherwise. And there's so much trauma and so much hurt and so much pain that he's left in his trail. And as people that have, you know, liked his music, I've enjoyed his music back in the days. It's kind of sad because dude, you didn't have to go this route. And I get that there was a lot of trauma in his life, it sounds like, and he never really addressed it. And basically, he tried to self-care his trauma by hurting others, you know, in theory, by using his resources, using his clout to create this air that I'm going to help you and I want to make you a star and I want to do all this. And he's using that as leverage as an ability to prey on young teenage girls. And it's sad. It was really sad watching it.
He actually, as two of the girls said, he uses his past sexual abuse to get in closer with the one Drea he was married to get in closer with them. Like, hey, we share the same thing. Like if you know, if I meet a girl that says, you know, that she likes the Giants, we're not, it's like her making, you know, her, you know, like we now become closer because of that, using that bond. You know, it's really, it's like as if she, you know, what he is doing, what he did was, listen, the Aaliyah stuff was tear jerking. And do you know that the mom put out a statement saying that the girl who said she saw the R. Kelly and Aaliyah having sex on the bus when Aaliyah was 15 and this girl was 14, and she had a friend who was 14 as well. They were like backup dancers or something.
Yep.
Aaliyah's mom is saying she was always on the road with Aaliyah and that this girl is lying. She's never seen this girl. Now,
okay, so that's one person that we could say refused that, but she also has an interest to protect herself as well too.
She doesn't want this talk going on for her daughter, but at this point she has to be delusional. You had the guy that was a former touring whatever with or tour manager. Okay, I was gonna say I wasn't sure if he was a manager or not, saying that he was there for the wedding. Like this, you know, this stuff is you know, ridiculous that all this is made up. And then you had Torre saying how he acquired the marriage certificate of the forged, as the tour manager said that he was an accomplice in forging, saying she was 18 when she was really 15 and Kelly was 27. Then we go to let's just, because, you know, I want to get off it because it's so sad, but it has to be talked about. We have to get to the one Dominique, the nice little pretty girl that was 15 or so, that was friends with the 14-year-old that was,
I remember,
well, actually, yeah, I don't even know if you got to this yet. Did you? Oh, you might have.
Yes.
You're on episode 3. She met R. Kelly actually at the courthouse defending him. And then when she was 16, she said that she told him that she was a virgin and he took her virginity, said that's great, blah, blah, blah. And this was the friend of it that he apparently turned into a boy-like figure, a boy toy, as they said. I don't know if I don't think you even got to this yet, because this is later. All right, so I don't want to kill it for you. Spoiler alert.
Okay.
But, I want to, dude, I gotta say it. If you got it, well, you care, you're gonna see it anyway.
I mean, I'm gonna see it. Yeah.
Okay, because this is crazy. The mother, which is what I would be doing, I would be going and getting my child. Okay. Right. She went and rescued her child from that hotel room, and you have the video of all this. So you're about to see some really good stuff. And when I say good, I mean, what's the word I'm looking for?
Captivating.
Yes. My man, I was going to say innovative, but no. Yes, and it's so like, we didn't know how bad it was. It went from a single event with, and plus we were young. I mean, when that video came out, we were like, I know I was like 16 or 17 when the video
I think we might have been younger than that. Yeah, you're right.
2001. Yeah. So she went ahead. What's that noise?
Oven.
Come on, brother. So I always get Earl with the sounds because it bothers me so much, because I come from radio, at radio shows. So, you know, that stuff, you got to come on now. If you're going to cough, mute your mic, stuff like that. You know, I've got on. Okay. But it was so captivating, as Earl said. But she goes and rescues her daughter, and she returns 3 days later to R. Kelly after she's back home. But she eventually, you find out at the end, she's now back with mom and good. But the one that's crazy that you're going to get into is the 17-year-old that he understands the laws.
Yeah.
He made sure at 17 that he made sure that the parents were comfortable with him. Hey, there's going to be somebody with your daughter. I know you have concerns because of my alleged past that I didn't do anything. And once again, this is all allegedly. This is all I'm talking about. What's in the documentary? He goes ahead and has her on tour for the transition of her birthday from 17 to 18. And as soon as she turns 18, parents can't get in contact with her. And guess what? She's not a minor no more. That's it. And they're still trying to get her back now. The parents haven't seen her since 2015. No birthdays, no Thanksgiving, no Christmas, no Mother's Day, no Father's Day. You don't see your family? That's okay. Even if you're in a relationship, it doesn't matter. You're still going to see your parents on those days, or at least talk to them on the phone. So something, obviously, in my opinion, you're being held against your will and brainwashed at the same time. Who doesn't see their parents on all those days? And you have one of the neighbors saying that she was running down the street to escape, and one of his crew picked her up and brought her back to the house. So you're about to get into all of that. But I thought the other one, the one that was really sad, was the artist Sparkle. Introduced him to the 14-year-old that was on the tape being peed
He
on.
introduced him as a 12-year-old, mind you.
And he groomed her for acts at 14 or even 13, because the other girl who was having a threesome with her was saying that that she just knew exactly what to do. That the girl who was 17 or 18, whatever, had to be coached, but the 14-year-old just knew what to do. So obviously he must have been having sex with her since she was 13 or so, or whatever. It doesn't matter, 14, 13, whatever. That's what she was doing. But once again, everybody has a price, because when it went to court, obvious payoff. You have the parents saying that's not my daughter, and the daughter saying that's not me. So and Sparkle was saying, I don't want to believe my family was paid off. Well, listen, your family was paid off. They offered her money too. She's saying that Kelly offered her whatever it was, $100,000 to sit down and say that all this is a lie and blah blah blah. Yeah, your family actually took money to say that was not their daughter having sex with a 30-something-year-old or 40-some, whatever it was at the time, 30-something-year-old, and she was not being urinated on. That's not her. Is that not unbelievable? There is not a price you could have offered me, period, to say that that's not my daughter. You are going to jail.
Yeah. There's really not much more I want to say about this, dude. It's wild, because literally it's been happening for decades. We're talking multiple decades.
Since 1990, since the McDonald's, the mall, and where else was his breeding ground? McDonald's mall,
the high school,
and its old high school. So
the old high school, like, come on. Are we're really thinking about picking up the high school chicks at the high school? Like, you're R. Kelly, like this. Hey. Let's talk about something a little more.
Well, we're moving on right now. Okay,
yeah,
so let's screen share it, and we're gonna get into James Harden. We're gonna talk about James Harden and just show this 57-point performance. We'll do this real quick. Let's make sure I'm doing this right, and let me know if I'm wrong on it. All right, are we up and running? We're good to go.
We're good to go.
All right, we are good to go. So James Harden here. Oh man. All right. So is he, because this has came up now, is James Harden one of the best offensive scorers in the history of the game?
Ever, you're saying, or currently in this current era?
Ever.
Wow. I think that's an amazing question to even ask, considering where he was, 6 years ago, where he was the third piece on this OKC team. And you think about it, you know, a lot of people faulted OKC for not ponying up the extra $50 million he wanted. But would James Harden ever be this James Harden if he was still in that team with Westbrook and Durant? The answer is probably no. I need to see.
Watch this one. Watch this one.
I need some more time. You know, I need to see. I need to see him perform in the playoffs. That's it. You know, you talk about in terms of regular season. Yes, he's amazing. Right. I just need to see it in the postseason. I think that's all I'm saying. He's definitely in talks to be, you know, one of the greatest ever scorers, and it's really not that hard. I mean, you look at his moves. Nobody can get to the basket with the ease that he can, and is as lethal with the 3-point shooting. Obviously.
I've never seen anybody draw fouls.
Yeah,
to the hole like him. Jordan did. When a few other, really, I can't think of anybody else that drew those fouls like that. And Reggie Miller brought up a good point on Dan Patrick's show. Reggie said that. Oh, look at that step back. And just right there, that's what I was going to say. Oh, I heard you go, ooh. Reggie said that his step backs is not a true step back. Look at that. Look at these weird movements. He said it's a side step back, so it's not a true step back. So see how he did that there? And he got fouled for the 4-point play. What Reggie's saying is that creates an angle of a foul. You see that?
Yeah.
So he's not having he's
not taking hard shots.
It's not like Steph Curry or Kevin Durant or Kobe, Allen Iverson. That's another good example. It was a straight back step back. Him, it's to the side. And then the big part of his game, free throws.
Mm-hmm.
Free throws. He's having 12, 13 free throws a night. He leads the league and has for years. And his ability to get to the line. And the question was posed to Reggie, could he score 40 a night? And there he goes. He's taking himself out of the game. So I'll get out of this. Can he score 40 a night? And the answer is yes, he can, because of his ability to get to the line. That's why, and, Harden is unbelievable, but just what you said, just exactly what you said, can he perform in the postseason for once?
Yeah.
I don't know. He's got to do it. And last year, it was Eric Gordon making the big shots in the postseason last year. It was Gordon. I don't know, but I can't wait to see it. And right now, what he's doing is unbelievable. When you have Chris Paul out, Gordon out, Clint Capella out. Well, Clint Capella was just out. But how is he going to keep this up? How is he going to keep this up? And they still have a very good record. I don't know. I really don't know. And as I pitch it to you, we're now going to get into, go ahead, the Warriors, 51 points in a quarter last night. NBA record. Man. As you are out there in the Bay, NBA record for a quarter. I will say, though, I did some research. It's not a record for all time. The record is 58 points. And
it was for that particular quarter.
Yes,
right?
That quarter. The record is 58 in the fourth quarter, October 1972. It's a team that's not even around anymore.
Let me guess. Baltimore Bullets?
No. The Buffalo Braves.
Wow.
And
so basically, that's the now Sacramento Kings, right?
I think it's now the Clippers. But I'm not sure. Okay. I'm not positive.
Okay. You might be right, because I think, you might be right. They went to Buffalo, and then it was San Diego. Yes.
San Diego Bill Walton was there for a little bit.
You're right.
Before he went to Boston in '86. But the Buffalo Braves, of course, McAdoo, which I tell people, if you want to see a 6'11" guy who can shoot like Kevin Durant, check out Bob McAdoo.
Yeah.
Bob McAdoo was unbelievable. And he had 30.
One of my dad's favorite players, man.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
And I'm gonna get this screen share going right now. But yes, so that was the that was the record for for the first quarter last night.
It's kind of crazy, man. Again, I've gone to a handful of these Warriors games, man, and there's a lot of time I'm already ready to go by the end of the third quarter because they're already up by 30 points. And so, again, for them to win by 20, I just watched a recap when I got home from work. There was a point that Kevin Durant was shooting 8 from 8 from the field with 4 of 4 from 3-point range.
By the way, am I on the screen share or no?
You are on the screen share. I see the Warrior highlights right now. Klay Thompson just driving to the basket. And you know what? This Denver team is not a scrub team. This is the number one team in the West Conference right now.
Yep.
A well-built, well-drafted team. Yeah,
they showed absolutely.
Them. And to their point, they did cut it down to about 14 before the halftime. But again, still not enough. I think there was a point where it was like they were up. It was like 72-52, and there was still 5 minutes left in the second quarter, which is absurd. They just had this ability to score points in bunches. And again, I think we talked about it last time. The shot that's like the least valuable shot in the league right now is inside the 3-point line, and the Warriors don't take those shots. And if they do take that shot, just like what Durant's about to do, they take a high percentage drive to the basket or a dunk, and they don't waste their time, playing on the blocks or worrying about their big man. And I really do think it's going to be interesting because they're actually getting Boogie back next game.
Woo! I can't wait. I can't.
That starting 5 is going to be ridiculous. You want to talk about the Monstars? I mean, if he can be even anything, if he could be half the player he was even last year, but before he got hurt, I think it's just going to be scary, man. You're talking about 4 players in your starting lineup who can average about 20 to 25 points on any given night in no order.
Okay. I last year, the Warriors took more mid-range shots than 3-pointers. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. Yeah, it is pretty crazy.
Yep, and a lot of it is because of Klay Thompson and Durant, who take a lot of mid-range. And let me tell you,
high percentage mid-range shots, though.
Yes. Well, when you got those guys, and what was crazy about this? They had 4 minutes left. They only had about 29 points there. And then here you go. You have to worry. This is the final shot. You have to worry about the 3 so much that look, he's playing for the 3. Up, nope. Jam it. We out. That's the problem. That's the problem.
Yeah.
It's too much. Listen, but I got something to say though. I think it might be over in Golden State. I think it might be over. I think that the Durant issues with Draymond issues is too much. I think it's over. I think it's over. And he didn't have to say what he said. Okay. He didn't have to say what he said, Durant, in saying that he's going to go to the team that offers him the most money. Well, dude, that's probably not going to be Golden State. But as you saw right there, so I can't wait. And the Knicks talk is real, dude. Durant to the Knicks. I'm here. Listen, I'm hearing a lot of talk. Okay, we're talking, Bill Simmons was even tapping on it. And who's closer? Who in the media is closer to Durant than Bill Simmons?
I know.
He was on his podcast 3 times. And they got really, really in-depth, really, really close. And he was on the HBO special. He came on there. It was Kevin Durant, and I forgot who was on with him. Oh, Nas. That was a really good show. I thought Simmons' show was good. But anyway, okay. I think it's an example of too much. That's what I think. It's too much. But I got to see how Boogie fits in. But if he's going to be out there raining threes and he's a head case as he is, and he thinks that his threes are more important than Klay Thompson's or Curry's or Durant's, this might be combusted before the playoffs. I don't know.
I don't know. I actually think I think about it like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think if there's any team that he could have went to, I didn't really have this. If you would have asked me to write the team down that I thought Boogie was going to go to, the Warriors were not going to be that team. I'll admit it. But if I could think of, I can't think of a better team for Boogie to go to with Steve Kerr, who is a player that has played with a enigmatic player such as like a Dennis Rodman, a guy that just who was Boogie before Boogie was even born, and even more so because Dennis Rodman was a head case off the court, and
he had very good coaches, though. He had
DeMarcus Cousins just is not the same kind of player. Yep. I think DeMarcus just plays angry. He's a different kind of a player, but I think surrounded with veterans and him not being the number one option, which is the first time, or the number two option, this is the first time ever. This is not going to be the lion's share of him scoring and kind of being the face of the franchise. That's not here. He is a third, at best fourth option in terms of scoring. This is the only time he's been able to say that in his career. And not only that, he's going to be in a winning team.
True.
And so I think that environment just changes people, man. And I think it's going to be great for him to show what he needs to do in order to stay in the game and get that next big contract, man, because he's one of the best big men in the game. He is the best center in the game.
I think Anthony Davis is better, but yeah, it's one or two.
Okay, we can say 1, 2, 1A, 1B, whatever you want to say.
And to be honest with you, I'd take Karl Anthony Towns over him too. I know he's not having a great follow-up year. Well, his numbers are still there, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. I like Cat. I like Cat. Like I really wanted the Knicks to get him. I love KP. I did want Cat to be part of this team, man.
That was my segue. So. But just before that, I just want to say we're gonna talk about this. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna when we see Boogie play, okay, we'll revisit it.
Okay.
But I do think what's in his favor is that Steve Kerr seen how Phil Jackson coached Dennis Rodman. Okay. And remember, Steve Kerr was Phil Jackson's number one choice to coach the Knicks. So he knows he's a great coach. And he played with Rodman and saw how you coach a guy like that. And like you said, Rodman's even more of a head case than Cousins. So he may know how to coach him. I don't know, but he's got his work cut out because you got guys, but as you saw tonight, when Klay Thompson is in the mix and he's hot like that, there ain't a lot of teams that can beat, the Warriors. No way. Now, I want to segue in to Zion Williamson.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just what you said, talking about people for the Knicks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let's do it, man. Boy.
All right. This is the Sports Center's top 10 dunks on Mr. Zion Williamson. Okay.
Woo.
All right.
Yeah, but it's what that kid said.
I haven't even seen these yet. Okay. Well, maybe I saw some in gameplay. There's RJ Barrett to him. And don't worry, we're going to get into RJ Barrett in a second. But man, now with the new rules of the three of the worst three teams in the league having the same percentage of getting the number one draft pick, are the Knicks going to get lucky? What do you think?
I think this is the year of the frozen envelope. It's coming back. I promise you. No. I just feel like the Knicks are due for getting a break in the draft. And yes I'm a homer. So I'm hoping for that.
But you know what?
Do we really want to see Zion Williamson in Cleveland? No offense to our Cleveland fans, but
dude, if Cleveland gets this, there's got to be an investigation. If
seriously,
once again, now that the top three, because they're probably going to be the lose. Well, that segues into RJ Barrett here. Would you be comfortable with RJ Barrett? Okay, would you be comfortable with RJ? Now, this was a miss. Oh no, okay, never mind. Now Barrett. Now listen, Barrett is the truth.
Yes, he is.
Barrett is the truth. We might have a shot. The Knicks might have a shot at either one. He hit the game-winning shot in this game, by the way, against Wake Forest.
I do remember that.
Yep. And listen, this is exactly what they need. A nice wing player. I don't know how well he shoots yet. I got to see more. Okay, but that looked like Williamson.
That did.
Yeah,
who actually has a lot better shot than we thought he did.
Well, Coach K said that I heard an interview with Coach K on Dan Patrick, and he said, "I'm trying to get Williamson to shoot more." But he said he's just an absolute incredible talent, and he said very, very coachable, easy to coach. Nice. But how great would that be with Porzingis, Barrett, and Kevin Knox?
Yeah. And Kyrie. Yeah, no, I'd love to see that, man. Honestly, we still have a few pieces to kind of put together. I really do like this Alonzo Trier kid that we got from Arizona. Or is it Trier? I don't want to mispronounce his name.
It's Trier.
I want to say it's Trier. Listen, dude, I
just got a threat. I just got a threat from YouTube.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What did they say?
They said we will end this broadcast if you keep playing copyrighted material.
Oh wow! Well, there we go.
No, we ain't going anywhere. But we got I got to keep it to, I believe it's to under 30 seconds. But isn't that amazing how just streaming it, they were able to just catch that? We can't have it on too long. But yeah. Okay, that was a big.
The watchdogs are watching, man. They out there.
Wow, man. Even if you wow, that's we're not even. This isn't even Joe Rogan here. But Joe Rogan does say that on his podcast. He goes, they just threatened me again. I didn't even play anything right now. Maybe that was just a hey, if you even talk about it, we'll shut it down. I do hear Rogan saying, hey, we're gonna get shut down if we continue it. But Rogan has 1 million viewers, so I thought it was that. But even if you're small time like us, I guess But I'm sorry for the interruption. Continue.
Yes, sir. I'd love to see Kyrie come on home to play with these Knicks. But again, I'm not going to hold my breath when it comes to any free agents coming to New York. I think in our mind as New Yorkers, New York has a way more relevancy to us than it does to anybody else. And unfortunately, it just doesn't have the same importance to a lot of people anymore. It's a tough market to play in, and you're thinking about a winter sport like New York. It's just it's hard to convince people to say you're going to deal with the largest media market. You're going to deal with being in a cold weather pressure tank, and you're going to do that, and you're going to go and come in here and want to deliver a championship. It's a lot of pressure that a lot of guys just don't want.
Yep.
You talk about you have the opportunity to live in a place like in LA or any of the more relaxed places out here, Portland, et cetera, et cetera. I don't expect KD or Kyrie to go to any of those places, but there's options, man. And people are seeing the value in being in tax-free states such as, Texas and Florida, or or even being in warm places like Phoenix. Again, not a lot of free agents go there, but the tides can turn where free agents might start thinking about that. It can happen.
Yeah. And by the way, I made a mistake. It was Cam Reddish that had the 3-point winning shot against.
Okay, that is correct.
And Reddish is another guy, hey, listen, any one of those three to add into the nucleus. And then if you could bring in a point guard, if you could bring in a legit, season, we know who he is. Kyrie ain't coming. He's staying in Boston. You saw
that way, man.
We saw the commercials. By the way, Boston is up 89-86 on Toronto, who has Kyle Lowry back, and Lowry looks good. But you know what about that frozen envelope that you were saying? Shaq, did you see the Basketball of Love story yet?
No, but I think you may have mentioned to me very briefly.
Dude, watch it, please. There's a lot of parts, but find a way and watch it. There are sites out there.
Okay.
Now, Shaq revealed something interesting on the frozen envelope Patrick Ewing part. He said in '92, before they were going to pull, the draft that night. David Stern went to Shaq and said, and Shaq revealed this, went to him and said, hey, would you rather play where it's cold or where it's hot? And Shaq said, I'd rather play where it's hot. And the two choices, the number 1 and number 2, based on wins and losses, was Orlando and Minnesota. And he ended up in Orlando.
Amazing.
So
whatever. Conspiracy. I love it.
I don't know. Okay, we're gonna attempt to screen share again. Okay, we have to talk about Adrian Broner Pacquiao. All right, now I just want to go to something really funny. I got to make sure this is within 30 seconds, though. You know what? Let me just say my prediction right quick, and then go to it in case YouTube goes up. See ya.
Yeah.
Listen, the problem is I really haven't seen Pacquiao in a while, and you don't know. Listen, I can't look at Pacquiao's training and say, "Oh, okay, he's ready," because Pacquiao is always ready in terms of training. He always looks good. He wakes up early. He jogs. He puts in his sessions. Pacquiao always put in the hard work. The question was, was he juiced up or not when he had the string of just knocking people out? The problem is he's much older now. I don't know. Adrian Broner, the problem is he's never excelled to what he was supposed to be. He was an incredible talent. And Mayweather said a long time ago, the guy is unbelievable. Never held up to what he was supposed to be. And, hey, he now may be able to do that. Beating Pacquiao, that is still a big name on his resume if he does do it. I don't know. But there was something funny that I saw. Okay? And, okay, all right, we're going to do this here. And we'll see what's up. All right? And let's do it. All right. So they have here, and I may have to skip through. You got here, you have Pacquiao training. Okay. Putting in the work, training, blah, 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 boom, doing his thing. Okay. Put in the work. And then you go to Adrian Broner, and look what he's doing here. My man is putting hot sauce on French fries.
Terrible.
And eating up before the fight. Look at this fool.
Chilling on the phone.
Look at this clown. Look at that. He dropped a few. Oh, he had to pick it up. Oh, he dropped it on the floor and he blessed it. He gave the 5-second rule. He's licking the plate. Look at this fool. I mean,
if he loses, that we'll point back to this scene and tell you that's why.
Yeah. Can you believe that? He dropped it on the floor. Hey, 5-second rule. Yeah, we're so good. He's just an absolute clown, man. He's absolute clown. Who am I going for? I don't know. You have the old guy versus the young guy. It would be good. You know why it would be good? Imagine if he wins, it could set up Mayweather Pacquiao too.
Oh gosh, I'm not paying for that.
You paid for it last time, the $100.
Yeah, no, I'm not paying for it, man. So I can't do it. I can't do it at all. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sir. Okay. I mean, listen, if it happens, it happens. But, I think about it all the time. Just like, he's done. Those days are done, man. This has to be Pacquiao's last fight.
Wait. Whose days do you think is done? Mayweather?
Well, Pacquiao's. And Mayweather's as well, too.
So you're saying you go, bro. Well, Mayweather just knocked out tension at that stupid little event, the 125-pounder. He was socking him hard, man. Yeah. That was pretty sad. Yeah. Guy was crying after. He made $9 million in like 2 minutes on that.
I know. It's wild stuff, dude. And I feel bad for the people that actually had to pay for that, dude. That's the worst part about it.
Well, there was a lot more going on. I
get it.
Those events in Japan. Here's Broner doing a little spar work, and
just went a little hard, man. Must be those French fries.
Yeah. Well, this was 2015 here.
Okay.
And this was a big comeback fight for him. This was after one of his losses in 2015. And listen, the guy is super, super talented. I mean, look how fluent. Oh, look how fluid these punches are. I mean, unbelievable. And he ended up TKOing this guy. I don't want to keep it on too long, but he ended up TKOing him. And listen, Broner is Broner. Broner is Broner. Let me get out of here. But yeah, Broner is Broner. I would say, my prediction right now, I say Broner by decision.
Yeah.
I say Broner by decision. Do I think it's gonna be split or majority? Not sure. I guess let me call it here. I'd say Broner by unanimous. Listen, I haven't seen Pacquiao in a long time. I have to really. It's hard to think that he can. And his last fight, he looked okay. The fight before it, he looked okay. He looks good in terms of he trains. So I got Broner by unanimous. I got an 8-4. I got an 8-4. I know boxing's really not your big thing, so we'll move on.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm gonna try to watch it, whenever I can. That's this Saturday, correct?
That is this Saturday, brother man.
Where are they fighting? They're fighting in the Philippines, or?
I didn't check that out.
Okay.
I don't think that really matters.
Okay.
Especially in a fight like this, I don't think it really matters. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, man. Like I said, I think I would be more likely
to watch that UFC fight. It may even be. Listen, it may be a slap up. It may be that Broner is just too fast for him, and it may be a slap up. Broner's very quick. You saw how fluid those shots are. Okay?
Yeah, I did.
If he connects those on Pacquiao now, come on now.
TKO.
Come on now, TKO or he's going to be retreating. But listen, the one thing, okay, you have to factor in two things about Pacquiao. A, the man keeps coming. Okay, doesn't matter. He keeps coming. Okay. He didn't against Mayweather, and he threw less punches against Mayweather, which was scary. But Mayweather's an anomaly
because of that whole shoulder thing, which was a sham in itself, right?
Listen, don't fight. Don't fight. Then I don't want to hear it. Don't fight.
Yeah, I agree.
Don't fight. Don't have people spend $100 if you can't throw punches. All right. So I have no respect for that. You out there, you fight. That's it. And the second thing is he is a southpaw. Okay, he is a southpaw. So. When you're a southpaw, you got a shot. Now, let's go quickly to this card, UFC, and this is going to be good too. This is going to be good as well.
I look at it and I think it's going to be an interesting card, man. Again, because there's definitely, I know we're going to get on it, but there's a guy that's causing a lot of intrigue, and it's also a lot of intrigue because it's going to be the first match that ESPN is actually airing. And so
ESPN Plus, dude.
ESPN Plus will be handling that. So I think it's going to be really interesting to have that kind of cross sport appeal that this young man that we're about to talk about has when it comes to his sport, especially when he really doesn't have the credentials to be on a co-main. For him to be on a co-main match. He's not there yet. He's only had 3 matches, and the quality of the opponents that he's faced has been not great thus far.
By the way, I got bad news.
We've been shut down?
No, we haven't been shut down. On my side has not responded. No, we're still on. We're still on. What happened was I clicked this sucks. I clicked the wrong button here for the screen share, and now it's frozen up. And I don't want to close. I don't want to close out because it's going to close out the broadcast. All right, so we were about to end anyway, but yes, it's very compelling. You have Glover Teixeira, but I'm not able to click to you. That's the problem. I'm not able to click to you. So you know what? I'm sorry, Swaggy E. but I am going to have to finish this one up on my own.
You go ahead, brother, man. We will talk another date.
But you know what? If you annoy me another time, I know I can always pull this.
Okay.
we have Glover, yeah, we have Glover Teixeira 27-7 versus Carl Robinson 7-1. That's going to be interesting. Glover's been around a long time, and that's going to be an interesting fight. But the one that, oh my gosh, this is annoying me. You have the battle of the two prettiest women in mixed martial arts, which conveniently why they're putting them against each other. But you have Paige Van Zandt and Rachel Ostovich, the Hawaiian girl. Have you seen her in pictures of her? Earl? Oh, you might be gone, Earl, I think. But yeah, we have the Paige Van Zandt and Rachel Ostovich, and that's gonna be very intriguing. But Ostovich, I don't know, she has a lot to fight for. Hey, I can hear you sneezing and all that in the background. Oh, you are there. Get back on here. I was saying that it's the two prettiest women in mixed martial arts today. Have you seen Ostovich?
Oh, Paige Van Zandt? Not better. She's better than Paige Van Zandt.
It depends on what you like, dude.
Okay.
It depends on what you're into. Depends on what you're into. She's a much thicker body, but she was recently abused by her husband or boyfriend or something.
Yeah. That's why this is such a compelling card. And I think she actually went to Dana White and asked for her to keep him on the card and keep her on the card. And I think eventually what they did was added Greg Hardy to the card later. So it's kind of interesting because she wanted to stay on the card because she wanted to show it's like women have options and women can fight back and women can respond to this kind of, domestic violence, which is pretty prominent. It sounds like in a lot of relationships or in some relationships. I shouldn't say a lot, but
and they put Greg Hardy on the card, he's the co-main event, which is ridiculous. So they're showcasing, hey, this guy abused his wife, and he's also on the card as an abuser. You know, Hardy's 2-0 against this guy, Alan Pretty Boy Crowder. I don't know too much about Alan Crowder, but I'll tell you what, I want to see Greg Hardy get his ass beat.
I think a lot of people are feeling that same way, and that's why, again, you talk about why UFC is great because, ESPN has no control over who they put on the undercard. I think this is great and this is compelling because of obviously the NFL connection and this being the first UFC fight night that they're airing on ESPN. I think it adds so much intrigue to it that it's such a great play and it's smart. Yeah,
and you know what? Okay, so you're in favor of it. I don't know.
Oh, no, I don't necessarily. I'm in favor for what it adds to compelling TV, right?
Okay.
I am not advocating or saying that this is a good move or that it's super respectful to victims of domestic violence. It's a ploy from a corporation and from a company to milk the free advertising that they have from the NFL.
Hey, they're in the fight game. I don't give they're in the fight game. Okay, if they're selling a person who horrifically abused his girlfriend, potentially getting his ass beat, hey, they're in the fight game. They sell fights. Was there ever a problem with Mike Tyson? Was there a problem with them selling Mike Tyson? No. So, but I'll tell you what, for people that are, and once again, you got to pay $5 a month to get this unless they're doing a free trial. But so hey, you have to join ESPN Plus to get. They may do a free trial thing. I'm assuming.
I think you can do a free trial. I think I'm already actually on ESPN Plus, so it's going to be a kind of an easy transition.
How do you like it?
It's all right, man. I don't use it a ton like I probably should, which kind of sucks. But there's some for instance, if I want to watch my alma mater play Iona, it's way easier for me to find that game on ESPN Plus rather than something else, So it just gives you kind of the options for obscure stuff. I mean, there's even stuff for Australian cricket and Australian rules rugby. So it really does give you a lot of exposure to other sports that you normally wouldn't watch. So,
dude, I know. I broadcast games for ESPN Plus. Did you know that?
No.
For the app, I didn't tell you.
Actually, no, you did. You were telling me how great the app is going to be for what they're trying to do.
Yeah, because I was there early on. But yeah,
Nice.
dude, I've done some weird stuff, man. The rugby that you're talking about, I haven't done the Australian rules, but I did super rugby.
It's cricket. Yeah.
I haven't done cricket. I've done super
Okay.
rugby. I've done women's college hockey.
Wow.
That was a bore. The
Wow.
rugby's good. Dude, the soccer, I'm getting into soccer, man.
They got squash. I'm looking at it. They got squash coming up.
Dude, I broadcast. I know, Scott. If you, dude, do you remember years ago we had like the director of
Yeah, I did
on the on our old show that was on 1460 AM. We interviewed him, yeah, and we were he was saying they're trying to introduce it to the young kids and young audience, and I said, well, you got to change the ball because it's hard like racquetball and blah blah blah, and that was a good interview that we had. It was probably the best, interview that we had,
absolutely
of a someone in sports. Now, dude, guess what? Guess who I broadcasted last week?
Who's that?
Probably the most popular face in soccer. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. Juventus.
Oh, Juventus.
So you know who I broadcasted was gosh, what's his name? Come on, help me out.
Ronaldo.
Cristiano Ronaldo. Yeah,
absolutely.
Broadcasted his game. I got to see it. Yep. I will say, listen, Henry Cejudo, TJ Dillashaw, this is one of the few times that I will not make a prediction because it's so even and I just want to see it. But Cejudo is 13-2. Dillashaw is 17-3. You know what? I am going to make a prediction here because he doesn't quit. And he's so much of a savage and just he reminds me of Young Days BJ Penn. I'm going with TJ Dillashaw. But the messenger Henry Cejudo, that's a bad boy, and it's champion versus champion here. This is going to be a compelling fight, and that's why they put it. That's why they put it as the main event of their first show. But let's get out of here.
Yes, sir.
Wrap up the show. A little over an hour, and good stuff. And we'll be back for Swaggy E and Rowdy B and Eric B. We are done.
All right, man.
All right.
Till next week.
Yes. Till next week. We are.
All right.
See you. Peace. Hopefully this closes. All right. I'm trying to close out here on my own.